This is the Crypto Money Magnetism Collective, and we are here with Carlos Quintana, returning as a guest speaker, backed by popular demand, talking about Parachain Auctions. Our collective, the Crypto Money Magnetism Collective, is a free and open community exchanging empowering mindset practices and cryptocurrency insight for a prosperous future. We're going to go ahead and get started and launch right into it with Carlos. How's it going, Carlos?
Hey, it's pretty good.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me again.
Thanks for being here. Really excited to learn about parachains and the opportunity there. So what is the opportunity there?
Or maybe you could start by just telling us what the heck is parachain?
Okay. A parachain is, well, first of all, let me go ahead and explain where it's coming from as far as, who's launching it and what is it part of. So Polkadot, I'm sure you guys have heard, Polkadot has launched a layer 0 blockchain. And what that means is that, for example, Bitcoin is a layer 1, Ethereum is a layer 1, and there are other layers that go into the Ethereum network, right? So those are layer 3s and whatever. Layer 0 means that it's basically behind the layers, meaning that it wants to connect all the blockchains together for smooth interoperability between all blockchains. So what happens here is that Polkadot created, imagine this as a ring, and I have a picture up. I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen here so you guys can see the picture. This is basically Polkadot. Imagine that the ring here is Polkadot layer 0 blockchain. And all these little spots right here, they're called parachains. Each one of these parachains right here is basically a blockchain that is going to operate within the Polkadot network. So for example, we have right now the Ethereum network, and imagine that as a sphere. The Ethereum network has NFTs, DeFi, it has gaming, it has a lot of different areas that use the same Ethereum network. The problem with Ethereum right now is that there's so much going on with the Ethereum blockchain that it saturates the network in such a level that brings up the gas fees to a really high level, and therefore we have that problem. What happens with Polkadot, they said, oh, you know what? We're not going to saturate our network, Polkadot. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and be a layer 0 where we're going to hold all these different parachains that are their own specialty. This parachain is going to hold the broadband for NFTs. This parachain is going to specialize in lending DeFi. This parachain is going to go ahead and specialize in NFTs. This parachain is going to go ahead and specialize in utility things, whatever like they use in coding. There is some advanced stuff in there that I don't understand. And there's some other projects that are very cool, bringing real property into NFTs so we can provide financing for those real assets in the real world. So basically it solves the problem of the saturation in there. So that's what Polkadot is that ring that holds all these blockchains together. So to not saturate Polkadot, they only have 100 slots that are available for blockchains. So therefore, the strongest and the richest will win. So there's no such thing as an ICO with a port network that is just launching in the back of a garage, and they're going to go ahead and pull the rug or whatever. This is really an opportunity for us to actually see the projects that definitely have a major amount of advancement in technology that have actually been working in their projects for many, many years. Polkadot said, you know what? We're going to go ahead and keep our ring clean, and we're going to go ahead and only use the super VIP type of projects that are going to survive for like the whole future, right? Like 30 years from now or whatever. So what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and launch a canary network, a test network. And they launched Kusama. Kusama is a test net for Polkadot, but it works the same thing. You know, it's the same ring with with 100 different slots that need to be occupied by different blockchains. So these major projects are launching a test project that they were planning to launch on Polkadot, but they're using Kusama as a test network. So what is it that we can expect? We can expect breakthroughs and we can expect breakdowns. So therefore, Kusama right now, because of the hype of this technology that is coming, it's already doing major multiples as far as the gains on the projects that are launching, because the technology so far has worked out. One of the major concerns for Dr. Gavin Wood, which is the founder of Polkadot, is for the saturation of all these parachains to saturate the Kusama network. So if it all works out, the projects that are the VIPs, the major ones that are also the richest, are going to have an opportunity to also participate in the auction for the Polkadot auctions that are going to be 100 different slots. Okay, so that's basically what the parachains are. That's what the Polkadot and Kusama are. And then we can talk about, if you want, about how does it work as far as for them to win an auction, for them to win a slot. Yeah. Any questions so far?
It looks like we have a question for you in our chat that says, are we able to buy these coins on the test net?
No, no buying. That's why we're going to participate on the auctions. Imagine that you are participating on the launch of a brand new project, and you go ahead and participate on the auction. And if you participate on the winning auction, then you get a reward for contributing to the winning project. And therefore, you get that native token airdrop to you or rewarded to you. So therefore, you don't have to pay them to give you the token. It's not such thing as buying the token. I'll go into how does the auction actually work, just for us to understand the dynamic of finances. With there's a major issue with ISOs right now, initial coin offering.
Can I just go back once to the parachain circle of the ring first before you go on to the auction part? You were about to talk, but don't forget. So I want to just ask, so you got this test network that's for the Polkadot that's going to come out or is already out?
It's already out, but it doesn't have any projects in it as far as the parachains.
Okay, so it doesn't have any projects in it. And then once there's a project in this spot, it's permanently in there, and there's only 100 spots, and eventually it'll be filled up, and nobody else will be able to get in? Or will some of these projects leave and come and leave and come and have openings?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really good question. It's a little more advanced, but for example, when I was sharing my screen right here in this area, the lease period that you get here, it's temporary, it's not permanent. The period that you get this spot right here is 45 weeks. And 45 weeks is 11 months. So if it's a major project that continues to actually be of utility to the Kusama network and didn't just win the auction, but actually has utility, is going to renew the lease of the spot. But if it doesn't, let's just say that they didn't make it or whatever, or that they're not needed to be running 24/7, such as other utility blockchains that are actually not needed to be running 24/7, they're going to go into this little line that you see here into something called a parathread. And these are pay as you go. So here they want a slot through the auction. But here the project then will pay as they go, meaning that as they use the Polkadot network, they're going to go ahead and pay for their usage. Still means that they're going to be within the Polkadot ecosystem, but they're not going to be one of the major like fundamental type of projects that are going to sustain the whole blockchain. Okay, does that make sense?
It does. And so and you're saying the name of, can you say the name of the one that's the test?
Kusama.
Kusama.
Yes.
That is it's like they're doing some research first, or it's a copy at, before they do the actual one?
Yeah,
Or,
well, it is a test network where it's an exact copy of what Polkadot is, and all these different projects that are planning to launch on the Polkadot ecosystem are launching on the Kusama network. It is like a test. However, what has been noticed is that these projects are actually functional. These projects are, some of them are going to only live in the Kusama network, and some of them are going to live only on the Polkadot network. So it's not just a test net anymore. It's actually a blockchain that is functional, that will host the different projects that like it's just going to be one or the other one, right? I think, in my personal opinion, that the most VIP type of projects, the ones with the most funding and the most backing from venture capital, and the ones that have the most utility and more popular, are going to live in both. They're going to live in Kusama, and they're also going to live in Polkadot.
okay, great, thank you. I just wanted to clarify that, and then remind you to go back to, you were going to talk about, which was a follow-up to Michael's question.
It was something about how the auction actually works. So there's, if you guys have been involved in crypto, there's a major problem with ISOs, initial coin offerings. And it has to do with that if the project is from the United States, the SEC is really interfering with this, because they are saying that these are securities and that the initial offering looks a lot like an IPO, therefore getting a security for the exchange of money. So a lot of these projects are getting very creative in the way to put it legally for them not to be considered and such a breaking the rules of the SEC. So therefore, Cardano, for example, is launching something that is called an initial stake offering, meaning that you have to stake your Cardano in order to receive rewards, right? So you open up your Euro wallet and then you stake your Cardano and your ADA. And instead of receiving the interest, you give up your interest that is then being given to the project. And instead of receiving the interest of Cardano, you receive the native token of the project that you're supporting, right? So that's called an initial stake offering. And therefore, there's no actual exchange of money where I'm giving you my money for you to give me a token. And they've gone through these legal loopholes to actually go through that. And not only that, there's like DEX offerings and all these different things that are being very creative. Polkadot came out with something incredibly creative. And that's where the security of your capital comes in. They came up with something called a crowd loan funding. What does that mean? It means that they're going to go ahead and crowd fund their project, but they're not going to use the money. The money is literally being put into a smart contract where the project does not have access to. So if you guys can see here my screen, I'm going to show you real quick what does that look like. This is basically the back end of the Kusama network. So therefore, you guys are going to see the ongoing Parachain crowd loan auctions that are going on, and they're requesting for a certain amount of KSM. So for example, this project is requesting 220,000. This one is requesting 80,000. This one is requesting one for whatever reason, 150. 100,000, 100, 400,000, 200,000, 200,000. So then you're able to contribute. If you see that button right there in the left where it says contribute, you can contribute your KSM in there, and you're going to be in this statistic right here, where it is the contributed amount versus what they're actually requesting. And whoever has the more crowd-funded KSM or allocated KSM into their campaign, a snapshot is taken at a certain period of time. Right now, it's every single week. There's a winner. And you guys can see right here all the different winners on each one of those weeks. So Basilisk, for example, won just today, I think, or yesterday, but I think it was today. And And they went ahead and requested 222,000. They got the 122,000 into their crowd loan. So therefore, if you guys can see the progress right here, let's say that the next parachain is going to be next week. Well, it looks like Altair has collected 124,000, meaning that when the snapshot is taken, Altair is probably going to win the next auction. Therefore, he's going to go and win a parachain slot, such as the ones that are here in this corner. So therefore, what happens with the KSM? Well, the KSM is locked up and it doesn't get released. If you choose a winning project, the KSM gets locked up into the smart contract for the 45 weeks of the lease period. You guys have to understand what proof of stake means, right? Let's compare it with proof of work. Proof of work is Bitcoin. Miners go in there and solve mathematical problems to process a block of Bitcoin to therefore mint a new Bitcoin, right? They do the actual work to mint new coins. Proof of stake means that the community will go ahead and stake their own KSM to mint new tokens or to make sure that the blockchain works. So these parachain slots are secured by the amount of KSM that you have because it's proof of stake, right? It's not being used by the project. They don't have access to that, but it's locked up by the lease period, which is 45 weeks. Now, what happens if the project loses? Let's say that you contributed your KSM to a project that lost the auction. Well, every auction is actually in duration of 45 weeks. So, I'm sorry, for 45 days. So if you are picking a project that lost, your KSM goes back to you after the auction expires, which is 45 days. So you get your capital back. You never really spent it. The upside in this is that you're able to get the token, the native token of the project that you picked, and it's going to be the winning project. What we can see out of the projects that, for example, my company has picked is that we have done a 7x or a 10x on certain of these certain amount of tokens. So, for example, Kala, right after a month, they did a 7x. So it went over the amount of KSM that we locked up for the 45 weeks, and we were like double the amount or triple the amount of the capital that we put into from KSM. In addition to that, after the lease period is over, we're going to get our KSM back. In this case, you're giving up the rewards or the interest that you would have received otherwise if you would stake your KSM. So go ahead.
So I just have a question about the KSM. So the KSM is the amount of money that a particular project is requesting.
Yeah.
And then
KSM is a native token to Kusama, by the way.
So so I have a question after this, but can you explain a little bit, what is KSM?
KSM is a token of the Kusama network. Like ADA is a native token of Cardano, KSM is a native token of Kusama.
Okay, so they're requesting KSM. Okay, so when they request a large amount like that, it's everybody pitching in and it's building up like a crowdfunding, correct?
Yeah, and the community is the one, the community members are the ones basically voting for who the winning project is.
With your
right?
dollar.
So yeah, it's like basic capitalism. You know, the strongest will survive, and we're gonna vote as a community for the projects that are gonna serve us the most. That's why we have amazing projects already on the Kusama network. Like, for example, one of the major risks that we have is giving up our rewards on our locked up KSM. If we lock up our KSM for 45 weeks, the risk is that we're not able to sell. Now, I believe in KSM for the long term. So therefore, if KSM in 1 year goes to $3,000, well, that's pretty cool. But if it goes to $1,000 within the next 6 months, and I bought it at 200, or 300, I'm not going to be able to sell. I'm not going to be able to capture those gains because it's locked up. Now, so this is something that you want to consider for a long-term type of strategy, especially now with the bear market coming soon. So people think that it's coming in 1 month, 2 months, and there's also different theories as far as extended periods of time for these cycles to actually go through. Now, since May, I've been investing as if it was already the bear market, and I'm basically just securing my capital. So this is a way for you to do that. Now, what I wanted to explain about that is that since our risk is to lock up our KSM, and we're giving up basically the rewards of staking, there's a project that got voted to win one of the slots called Bifrost. Bifrost Finance basically is allowing you to stake, and that's all they do. They only stake KSM. That's the beauty of it, right? They don't specialize on staking and NFTs and yield farming. Or no. It's just all they do is staking. So they're allowing for you to stake your KSM at whatever percentage it is. I think it's like 15 or whatever it is. I'm not certain about that, but let's just say it was a 15% lockup staking rewards. What they're allowing you to do is that they're basically giving you something in exchange of your KSM. They're giving you liquid KSM. So therefore, once you stake your KSM, you can still use your KSM because they gave you something in exchange called liquid KSM. And then you're able to use that liquid KSM to actually participate on the Parachain auctions, or you're able to yield farm it, or you're able to do whatever it is that you want with it. So therefore, you're still earning your rewards on the staking, and you're participating on the crowd loans. So therefore, you're actually winning a lot. You're getting the rewards on the staking, plus the rewards that you're receiving on native tokens that are already doing multiples, Moon River, Akala, and we're going to see multiples on tokens that are actually launching because they have really great utility. Okay, I think there's questions.
There's a question. It says, so if you offer your KSM to the crowd fund, they can't spend this capital.
No, it's secured in smart contract for the lease period. So the KSM is actually being used to hold a spot for the project to secure that slot, and it cannot be used. The only use case for it is to secure the lease period of that Parachain project.
Do we have to be somebody? So I'm assuming, obviously, you're going to share with us eventually how we get to do this and participate in it. Do you have to be? So it kind of doesn't make you just kind of have to make the decision the first time, and then you kind of take your hands off of it because you're either waiting the 45 days or the 42 weeks. So it's not like something you have to really watch and like lose sleep over and, oh no, I went down, went down a couple points or anything.
Not at all. Not at all, because like I said, I believe in the Polkadot and Kusama network. As you can see with the explanation that I gave you on the networks, it's solving a lot of the issues that we're having currently. And I believe in Polkadot and Kusama to be amazing projects that are going to be fundamental to the crypto world. So therefore, if Polkadot right now is at $37, it could be $500, to be honest. It's I haven't calculated the market cap, obviously, and I'm just throwing a number out there. But it's that's a potential of it as far as just a Polkadot and Kusama type of projects, right? Kusama could definitely go in 5 years to $3,000, $4,000 if the market cap obviously increases overall with the crypto world. As far as all the money invested into crypto. So these are going to be fundamental projects that we don't have to worry about. These are long-term type of investments that we want to lock up, so we don't get tingled into trying to capture gains, right? So these are long-term projects that we want to capture the long-term type of gain with it. In addition to getting staking rewards while we actually participate on the crowd loan, and in addition to getting the native tokens on the projects that are participating on the auctions. I don't see how this could lose anything. Plus, your capital is secure in a smart contract where the lease period is over, then you're going to get it back. And if you pick the losing project, you get the money back within a 45-day period.
And Carlos, quick question. When, let's say you put in X amount of Kusama right now, and then you actually picked one of the projects that wins, one of the parachains, And then in 11 months, when you have the option to take it back, but we're in the middle of a bear market in 11 months, will that value most likely have gone down of the actual KSM?
It could.
And okay, yeah, and given the and you also have the option to hold it, and you're saying that these are pretty strong projects that long term will go back up if that happens.
Sure, but think about it this way, right? The more supply of Kusama that is locked up in the network that cannot be sold, there's less selling pressure for the project. Therefore, what we saw just a couple of weeks ago, the price of Kusama was at $280. They launched the Parachain Auctions, and we saw how the price went to $420. Just 2 days ago, it was at $420. So we see that as far as the dynamic is that people are trying to acquire more Kusama to be able to participate into the Parachain Auctions. One of the things that we're looking at is that, for example, you saw how much actually each one of the projects is locking up. 200,000 Kusama, 500,000 Kusama. And they're locking up, imagine that times 100. Times 100. And when you look up that much Kusama worth $400, you know, that's a lot of money. And all the investors that are here participating on the Parachain Auctions know that we're not here to capture gains on Kusama at this moment. We want to capture the immediate gains of the tokens launching on the network, but we know that long term, any project that wants to launch on Kusama or Polkadot, they have to crowdfund a bunch of Polkadot and a bunch of Kusama to be able to win a slot. So therefore, we are seeing a supply shock. What does that mean? There's not a lot of supply in the market to be able to have a lot of selling pressure. As you mentioned, Bobby, the coin in the bear market could actually be worth less, sure. But what the fundamentals are telling us is that that's unlikely. It's probably going to maintain a certain level of strength as more people participate on the parachains.
I mean, that makes sense. Thanks for clarifying that.
Hey, Carlos.
Yeah.
What if the auction you choose, it doesn't win? Do you lose your money?
No, you get your money back within a 45-day period.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, two questions. So does this give, so all these projects that are on there, does it give all these projects legitimacy because they're all going up against each other and that makes them visible? Like they're not just some, you know, fly by night something.
Yeah, it does. They're part of the VIP network, basically, of the Kusama ecosystem. The cool thing about this picture that I just showed you here is that if you look at something that they're doing here, is that they're actually talking and working with each other. That's a beautiful part of it, because my NFT type of project is actually talking to this project that is about lending. And this lending project is actually talking to this project that does whatever. It doesn't really matter. What I'm trying to say is that they all communicate with each other and can work with each other. And we're already seeing that. So for example, there's a project called Centrifuge, which is already an Ethereum company. And they're launching a project on the Kusama network called Altair, which is the next one that is going to win this upcoming auction. By the way, we are completely invested in the auctions, and we have won every single auction here, every single one of them. And we picked the projects beforehand, and we have won every single one of them. Why? Because we did our research and we believe in certain projects, and we contributed a big amount to qualify for bigger bonuses. Now, what I want to say, backtracking a little bit, is that Centrifuge is a company that is bringing real assets, such as a house or a commercial building, and they're creating basically an NFT of that project. So, for example, you, Beth, are looking for refinancing your commercial property. usually the typical sense as far as how the industry works right now, you go to the bank, you refi your house, and you get a certain percentage, you get the money and you do whatever you want with it, whether it's improvements, buy another property, or whatever it is that you want, right? What Centrifuge is doing is saying, hey, why don't you let the crypto market decide how much we can lend you on? We can go ahead and do that for your commercial property. So why don't you allow us to create an NFT for your property for this, that basically tracks the ownership and that this is a real asset. And we're gonna go ahead and work with our sister project within the Kusama ring for lending. And we're gonna go ahead and see if they wanna finance your commercial property and put this NFT as collateral, in case you default on the loan or the refinancing that you're doing. So therefore, you're gonna be able to get refinancing or financing in the market as far as the peer-to-peer type of lending that is happening. That's the type of power that Kusama and Polkadot parachains, or the whole network, how they are connecting with each other, are able to come up with these beautiful type of projects that are basically going to revolutionize the financing industry. You're on mute.
I love it. I think it's exciting. I have two questions. One, I want to know, if I have a little bit of money, do I get to jump in with everybody and participate? Do I have to have a certain amount of money? And then the second question is, what's the risk?
Yeah,
they're separate.
You do need a minimum, but it's incredibly minimum. The minimum, I think, is like 0.99 KSM. So it's like, whatever is worth, $200 or $300, whatever it is. And you can start participating on the projects as far as the crowd loan. Now, obviously, my strategy, and the reason I got so excited about it, that I even created a whole company about it, is that I wanted to participate in every single project because it increases my probability to have multiple X's on my investment. So out of the 5 projects that are participating right now in this 45-day period, what if I put my full amount of KSM into one project and they win, but in the open market, once the token is being sold, it only does a 2X. Okay, cool. That's a nice little return that I get, and I'm already at a profit because I know that I'm also gonna get my capital back. That's no problem. But if I distribute my KSM over 5 different projects that are gonna be the winning projects, I have an opportunity for any of those projects to actually do incredibly well. Maybe this one does a 1X or a 2X. Maybe this one will be a 10X, and maybe this one will be 100X. And I only need one of those to make a major amount of money. So I'm actually participating in every single auction. And obviously you need a big amount of money to be able to participate, especially if you want to qualify for bonuses that way. But if you only have 5 KSM, you want to allocate 1 KSM to each one of the projects, well, that's fine too. You're going to get that in return as far as the reward, and you could do a multiple. Obviously, it's going to take you a long time to build a massive amount of wealth with only 5 KSM, but it's possible. You asked about the risk.
And then the risk, yeah. So it sounds like, there's ways to get in. You could have a little bit of money. It's going to take a little bit more. You make a little bit, but then there's also probably some fees in there to jump in, right? Or no fees?
There's no fees. They're minimal, incredibly minimal. Like minimal, I mean like cents, to be able to work within the Polkadot ecosystem and the Kusama ecosystem. The risk is basically just locking up your KSM, because you have no access to your KSM in case you have an emergency, for example. If you are investing with money that it could serve you as an emergency, you shouldn't be probably investing. But at the same time, if you have that sort of emergency with a 45-week period and you want to access your liquidity with KSM, and it doesn't matter whether it's at a gain or a loss, you're not going to be able to do that. The risk is not about losing your money. The risk is mainly about not having access to liquidity. However, you're able to resolve this issue. Well, no, never mind. I take it back. I was going to say with Bifrost, but that's for staking. If you're only staking your KSM, you still can liquidate your liquid KSM. But yes, that's your risk. Just locking it up.
Carlos, a couple questions. All those projects that are competing for the Parachain spots, you showed us a list of like what people are contributing and how, what the levels they're at. The ones that are, you said one of them looks like it's going to win. Those auctions happen within, was it 45 days or just once a week they have those auctions?
Every 45 days, there's 5 projects that participate. Well, there's like 20 or 30, but only 5 win. That it's picked every week, and then that auction period of 45 days expires, and they pick the 5 winning projects, and then the next one launches. So yeah, that's we usually there's early birds bonuses. So for example, on September 1st, that the first auction came out, and this second auction, because the first one had already happened, of 5 winning projects. This is the second auction of 5 winning projects. And this is going to happen up until the 100 slots are occupied. You see, so we still have a long period. If you guys want to wait for the bear market for KSM to see if it goes down, do that. You're going to be able to acquire more KSM or Polkadot to be able to participate in the Parachain auctions. But what if liquidity or the supply shock, maintains itself and it doesn't dip? Well, maybe, you should have bought now. But, that's your decision to make, whether on whether you want to buy Polkadot or Kusama right now to be able to participate on the Parachain auctions.
Okay. Would it make sense to wait to see who's winning to put your money in, to put your KSM?
Yeah. Like I said,
at the very end?
There's early bird bonuses, right? So if you participate on the September 1st, like I mentioned, we picked the 5 winning projects within 1 day. And because we had done prep work beforehand to see like, okay, we gotta make sure we gotta calculate our bonus rewards and everything. And if we're on the first 500 contributors, we're gonna get 20% more in bonus rewards, right? If you don't want to do that and you wanted to contribute right now to Altera that looks like it's a winning project, do that, But you also risk. I wouldn't participate all the way until the end. Because they can also get funding from other sources, and it doesn't show in the actual percentage in there, and therefore your rewards might not arrive if you do not participate early enough on the project. So yes, to answer simply your question, you can always participate as the auctions progress, and whenever that project looks like it's winning, you contribute your KSM within that 45-day period, and you'll still get the rewards.
And what's the early bird time frame to get in that extra 20% you were saying?
Like the first day, because what we were experiencing is that Altair within just a couple hours, Kilt got capped within just hours of the Parachain auctions launching. So we, like the early bird was like the first 500 were like, it's already at 10,000. Like, we're not going to be able to get the bonus reward. But yeah, I would say the earlier the better. And there's a lot of research out there. There's a lot of people that are doing research for you. We are doing the research also for the people that are investing in our fund. So we can actually combine the funds together and participate in the auctions for everybody. And we distribute the rewards equally according to the percentage of contribution.
And your company is dosama.fund, correct? If anybody's interested in.
Yeah, we had a question. We had a question from Zoom, which was asking who the we are that Carlos is referencing. And so they came on late, so they didn't know who the we is that's participating in this, which is your business.
Yeah, we have. I don't like to call it investors because they're loaning their KSM, and they're gonna get that capital back. So it's not really investors; they're lenders, right? So we have several lenders in the fund, and we keep track of the percentages. And we basically raise capital for these last auction, and we closed off contributions because we contribute over the period of the 45 days, and we already closed the contributions, right? it would be unfair for me to accept another lender right now and give participate in an auction, and for that lender to see to harvest the rewards of all the work and the bonus rewards that we already set up beforehand. So we only raise capital before the 45-day auction. So right now, the second auction, we closed off the raising of lenders or capital for the auction, participating on the auction. Or we're gonna go ahead and raise more capital for the third auction, which is gonna be in like 20 days or 30 days, whatever it is, you know, in I'll give you guys a date. But anyway, that would be the participating set of projects that you would be trying to acquire the tokens from, not the ones that are participating right now, if you go ahead and get it through dosama.fund.
Great. And then I have a question from Zoom that says, second question, if the project wins, the reward is getting the airdrop token of said project?
Yes. And also, simple answer is yes. And also, you guys have to note that they are designing the rewards in a specific way to avoid dumps. In an ICO, in a regular ICO, you get the full amount of your rewards, and we see massive dumps. And I have participated in several technology type of ICOs, and I get wrecked. I get completely wrecked because I think that it pumps, and then suddenly all the early investors are selling. And when I want to sell, you know, I'm already at a loss from the initial thing, you know. So one of the things that they're actually doing within the Kusama network is that they're giving you the full amount of the rewards, but they are only allowing you to sell a certain percentage. And that depends on the project. Some projects are only allowing you to sell 10%. And then every 8 weeks, they're going to go ahead and release another 20% or another 10% until the lease period is over. And then you have received 100% of your rewards. But this is basically to avoid dumps.
I want to know, I guess Zoom, did that answer your question? If you want to, about the token. And then after that, Laura has her hand raised. Okay, yeah, that got the question. Okay, great. Go ahead, Laura, you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to ask the same question. I wasn't sure. I did want to know, okay, couple things. Do you think that the sum of your parts, so your investors, you feel that you're going to outperform us as opposed to, say, if we did it individually? Like, what were the pros and cons of us doing it with you as opposed to sort of just doing it with by ourselves?
Yeah, that there's whale bonuses and early bird bonuses. If you did it yourself and you're doing that and you have a big amount of funding, you're able to qualify for the same type of bonuses that we are qualifying for. But for example, some of these projects, for us to get like a 20% bonus, a whale bonus, they say you have a minimum contribution of 50 KSM. And, you know, 50 KSM is going to be like $20,000 or something like that, just for the contribution into that project. And some people don't want to put $50,000 or $20,000 into just one project. They want to distribute the $20,000 over 5 different projects, right? So therefore, you wouldn't qualify for the bonus reward. So with us, as far as raising a lot of capital, we're able to contribute to these projects and qualify for the whale bonuses or the early bonuses, because we've done the research to qualify for the early bird type of bonuses, which are, in addition to your regular rewards, you know, we qualify for an additional 20%.
Okay, awesome. And so what sort of fees do you charge for the benefit of the whale bonus? Do they offset? You think they offset I guess you just really answered that question.
Yeah. So I mean, it's on the website on dosama.fund. When you go to pricing, you're going to be able to see what we have. So what we do as a fund, we just go ahead and take, let's say, from all the rewards that we're contributing to, we're going to go ahead and grab a 10% of those rewards, and that's going to be our commission. basically for qualifying for early bonuses, for whatever, all the research that we've done. And we're going to go ahead and grab 10% from the overall fund. And we're going to keep those rewards. We're going to give you then your capital back, plus the divided rewards equally to the percentage of ownership that you have or contribution.
Okay. And you said the whale bonus 10% or no?
It depends on the project. Some projects don't even offer a whale bonus. Like Genshiro has a whale bonus, right? That is coming up. So it's like 50 KSM for contribution minimum, and then you qualify for the whale bonus. A lot of the projects haven't had a whale bonus. Like maybe 20% of them have a whale bonus. The other ones don't. So the other projects would be the same as if you were to participate on the crowd loan by yourself. So maybe there's an early bonus or anything like that, but it depends on the project. We are able to then contribute to 5 different projects in which you are going to go ahead and get the reward from, instead of only contributing to one project if you were by yourself.
Right. So did you do projections of, obviously you did some, of what you think that by sort of going for all of the different projects would definitely like outweigh your chances then of just like picking maybe the top 10 or top 20? You did project, like you feel that you will be like 10% more successful or 30% like you're more successful, or it's just kind of
no, I
guessing, huh?
I don't have an actual number as far as the projection, but what I can tell you is that if
seems a little like spray and pray to me, sorry, but so it makes me a little nervous, like just to say, because I looked at some, just really quickly glanced at some of them, and obviously the rewards are very different in the native tokens, and 66% versus like maybe like 2%, promising those kind of like different rewards. It means to me that some of the projects are like a little bit riskier and probably not going to succeed.
Right.
So,
and
locking up is a huge opportunity cost to me, it seems like.
Absolutely. I think so too. So some of these projects, now what you have to consider too is that not everyone has a chance to actually participate in the auction. And these are not just a regular ICO that is participating. These are actually projects that have been vetted by Polkadot or Kusama and have been given grants to actually be able to participate in this auction and be able to win the auction. And these are projects that definitely have utility and would be adding value to the Polkadot or the Kusama ecosystem. This is not just a regular ICO of some random type of company just doing anything. And that's where we actually do our research to see whether the projects are going to be beneficiary for us or not. If we see that there's a project that we don't see a value or utility for it, we're definitely, even if it wins the auction, we're not going to go ahead and contribute to that. We're probably going to allocate the fund into the projects that we believe in. So far, though, every single project that has come out has gotten me really excited, like Altair. Do you know how many clients of mine in the accounting firm are going to be able to create these NFTs for the commercial properties and be able to refi all the projects and be able to invest all these different things? I have clients with CryptoPunks that they're going to be able to access liquidity, and instead of selling their CryptoPunk, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you know what? That makes a lot of sense. It's just, it is probably a little bit more than just a spray and pray, since they have been vetted kind of thing. I wanted to ask you, with your company, are you taking advantage of the staking of, I guess it's kind of like almost a lending where you're like staking and getting the 15% and then getting your Kusama back, and then is that what you're using? So you're automatically getting that 15%, or is that just a?
We haven't done it yet, but that's a plan, because Bifrost just launched they call it the SALT program, which is slot lease, whatever it stands for. It's called the SALT program, where you are able to stake your KSM and then be able to participate on the crowd loan while you're actually getting the rewards on the KSM. Those same rewards of the KSM are going to be given as a return of capital to the lenders or the investors that we have. So we haven't done it yet because I hadn't launched, but we're definitely going to do it for the third auction.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, it sounds awesome. Awesome. Well,
So
you got me intrigued. Thank you.
we have just a couple more minutes. We're just coming to the end, and I just wanted to see if there were any other, well, Carlos, was there anything else that you wanted to make sure that you shared with us before we completed, or if there was any, I think we had one more question in the chat, but was there anything else, Carlos, you want to make sure we knew?
I'll answer the question and then I'll show you guys a little quick way for me to show you how to do it.
Okay, great. So she says, you seem to be knowledgeable on KSM and DOT, but the ethos of crypto, us to cut out a middleman. Why should I trust your company with my tokens? Is that what you wanted to say? Zoom. Yes. Okay. So do you want me to say that again? Or you want to read that? Read that.
Why should I trust your company with my token? No, I don't think that you should. That like you make your own choices, and I'm going to show you how to do it yourself. For you to actually get it like through my company is basically because you don't want to do the research to invest or put your tokens into the crowd loans that are going to be the winning projects. And I think that you should be skeptical on who you give your money to, always. And I think you should get to know me or my company first before giving us money. You know, so that's just simple as that. It's not easy to give your money away. So therefore, I would say that's why I wanted to open up the opportunity for me to talk about the Parachain auctions for you to do it yourself. So therefore, I encourage you to do your own research, and for me to encourage you to actually try to do it yourself. If you don't want to do any of that and you want to go ahead and take advantage of bigger bonuses or the research that we have done, then you can go ahead and, you know, have another meeting with us or like with me, talk about what are your different options in case you wanted to invest, and then do it with us. But you should definitely be skeptical anytime that anyone is asking for money.
Yeah, just to back Carlos up on that, August, I think that's August, Zoom. Before we recorded, you came on the call tonight, I asked Carlos, what do you want to get out of this? And Carlos is like, I just want to be a contribution and teach people how to do this. And I don't care if people use my company or not. My main goal is to have you all be empowered. So just want to make sure that this, if it was sounding like a commercial for Carlos's company, that wasn't the intention at all.
Well, I mean, it could be, and I don't care if it sounds like a commercial. It could be a commercial because I am seeking new investors too. You know, I am raising capital, and sure, that's what I do. You know, that's what I do. So anyway, it depends, right? You know, because I also don't want to deal with people that are only giving me 5 KSM. I don't. I'm dealing with people that are giving me 200 KSM. I'm dealing with people that are giving me 1,000 KSM. So that's kind of like the type of.
Do you have a minimum amount?
I don't have a minimum, but if you're giving me very little KSM, it's probably with someone that I know that it's gonna be a good type of investor or a good type of client that is not gonna be like bombarding me with like, hey, you know, whatever.
Will you help me manage my $50 like
yeah, exactly.
7 hours a day, 7 days a week?
But yeah, I would say that a educated like investment would be something along the lines of like maybe at least 20 KSM. Cool.
Well, Carlos wanted to give us a little rundown on how to do it. And
yeah, no, it's okay. So for example, here, like for example, if you go to Kusama.fund, you're gonna be able to go here to get started. Send me a message if you're interested. If you're not, then this is how to do it. You go to basically polkadot.js.org. And right here, once you go ahead and do that, it's gonna go ahead and take you to a page where you're able to access the different apps and wallets here, okay? So once you go ahead and do that, then you're gonna click here to access the Kusama. It's gonna automatically take you to Polkadot, but what you wanna go ahead and do is just go to the Kusama Parachain. You see how all of them are connected and they go ahead and communicate with each other? That's because this is the backend and that's how they're communicating. So you're gonna click Kusama and then switch. Then you're gonna be able to see this. We're gonna go to network and we're gonna click on Parachains. This is after you've actually created an account, meaning like, I don't wanna click here because it'll show how much KSM I have, but when you click here, you're able to create a wallet address, and therefore you're gonna be able to create, like with the seed phrase, it's gonna have 12 different words for you to have that wallet address. You're gonna be able to send your KSM into this wallet address. Once your KSM is in this wallet address, then you're gonna go ahead and go to network, Parachain, then crowd loans, and that's where you're able to then contribute to any of these projects with the KSM that you already sent to your wallet, okay? And that's as easy as it goes. Once you receive the tokens, you're gonna be then able to go to the winning project, like Basilisk, like that already won. Then you're gonna be able to go there, go to your account, create an account there, receive your tokens, and that's it.
So when that was like the super fast version. So and
Super fast, yeah. And look, it's a little more technical, obviously, because you need to know how to create the Kusama wallet, but you can definitely just Google or YouTube how to create a Kusama wallet, and it'll show you step by step on how to do it. I just wanted to open the door for you guys to be able to see the opportunity that is in front of you without risking your capital, and for you to actually engage in activities that are going to prepare you for the bear market, which are going to be that is not risking your capital, but is using the same amount of capital that you have, right? Let's say that you picked a losing project. After 45 days, you're going to be able to reuse that KSM for another project, or just continue to raise money for your KSM and continue to participate in winning projects so you can slowly get your profit on the winning projects, and therefore also get your capital back without risking it.
Excellent. I guess I just had one little question that came up when you were showing that process. So let's say you Basilisk was the one that won. Let's say you already contributed to that one and they won and you got your rewards. The rewards come in at the end of the, do they come in like over time, or do they come in at the end of the whole?
No, they do come over time, but they release a certain percentage immediately. So the reason I switched out of my screen is because I already had, some, I don't know, I haven't checked, but if I already had some Basilisk in there, it was probably going to just show there, but only a certain percentage that they're able to do. And that's going to depend on each one of the projects. Some projects only airdrop 30% of your total amount of rewards and unlock the remainder amount of tokens over a period of 8 weeks, usually. Some of them will only airdrop 10% and will then release the remaining amount over a period of 8 weeks every single week, right? So it's going to depend on the project, and you have to look at that before you contribute to a project to see the tokenomics on the project, whether they already have an ERC token. It's probably not going to be a good project to contribute because they're going to dump on the ERC20 side. So you want to contribute to tokens that are going to that don't have an ERC20 token already, and that they have a high utility on the Polkadot or Kusama ecosystem. If you guys go to the blog on dosama.fund, I have posted some videos that are incredibly useful from like the Coin Bureau or other popular channels that explain how to filter out the different projects and doing your own research on each one of the projects so you can contribute to a winning project.
And where is that again? Where you can go and
just on my website, just click on blog and you're going to be able to see resources on how to pick the right project. What are the risks? These are the projects that we think are going to win, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, Carlos. Any other questions?
You say today's a good day to buy? Like, should I buy right now? If we were gonna
I bought a bunch today.
I was gonna say, yeah, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm like checking it right now. Should I buy like right now? Right now?
No, I was so happy when we're getting all these dips, because I don't invest in anything else but Hex and Kusama and Polkadot right now. I'm just completely 100% focused on this.
You don't buy you don't Bitcoin, or you store in Bitcoin?
I own Bitcoin, but it's all stored away. And when I get my gains, I'm a very patient investor, so
Me too.
so I'm waiting for the bear market, and when we see a bottom, I'll buy a bunch more, you know, and then
And so it's a good sign if you bought today. We better all buy today.
yeah, I bought a lot, you know. So the average price that I have gotten my KSM is between like maybe $280 to $330, and it skyrocketed at the beginning of the Parachain auction to $420.
Ooh.
And I wasn't gonna buy more. I wasn't, and also at the top of the market, it was at 700 and something dollars. You know, so
Oh.
if you guys see the chart of Kusama, it's not even at its all-time high. It's at a 50% discount right now. So it has a potential to go up even more. Whether it's in this cycle, the next cycle, I don't care. I'm locking up my KSM. I'm forgetting about it, cashing out the rewards, you know, getting my cash flow from the rewards. And then once it's time for me to unlock my KSM, I'll unlock it at whatever gain it has, you know? So, you know, I've made a lot of money with Bitcoin, but the projects that have given me the most is probably Hex. And
Oh, interesting.
yeah, Hex and the rewards that I've gotten on participating on initial offerings that have done, you know, 50x, 100x. You know, so that's kind of what I'm hoping for with Polkadot and Kusama Parachain Auctions, to be able to have those multiples on those tokens as well.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. I'm
Would you
buying
recommend
some.
buying some Polkadot now for later when the Polkadot Parachain auctions start to
Yeah,
happen?
right now everybody's focused on the Kusama Parachain auction, right? Now I hope when we saw the 40% dip like a couple months ago, Polkadot went down all the way to $12.
I remember you told me to buy some.
Yeah.
I bought a lot of Polkadot.
I sold all mine. Oh.
Right now it's at $30, and it goes up to 37. That's where the range is, like $29. That's like a big line of support. Like $29, $30, and then it goes up to $37, and that's a resistance. So it's kind of maintaining itself in that. But why? Because we are accumulating right now. We're accumulating as much Polkadot as possible because we know what's coming. If we saw increases and the supply shock in Kusama, we can only expect the same, especially if the projects that are going to be launching in the Polkadot ecosystem are going to be the VIPs. So that's what I have to say about that. You make your own choices. As far as what I'm doing, as far as the whole fund, what we're doing, we're accumulating as much as we can when it comes to Polkadot and Kusama to be able to participate on the Parachain auctions.
Good to know. Michael Ramon, I saw you unmuted for a second. Do you have a question?
I just want to say that Carlos told me about Hex back when it was like 1 cent. It's at 42 cents right now. So this guy is definitely knowledgeable. He calls it, and he's right time and time again with all the, you know, the coins he's called it. So he's got my trust, is what I want to kind of leave everyone with, you know.
Yeah, and then maybe we can have another episode to talk about Hex and the dynamics of Hex and the
Yeah,
all that kind of stuff.
that'd be great.
That's been my baby. That's been my fortune maker.
Next week's topic.
Yeah, what do I think about Reef? Look, every token on the Polkadot ecosystem that has already an ERC token, I don't want it. It's trash for me. Why? Because I'm not an early investor in it. I'm only participating in early investor type of projects that I'm able to make multiples in it. Whether Reef is an ERC token that is tagged into Ethereum and Bitcoin. If there's a dip on Bitcoin and Ethereum, Reef is definitely going to go down. And I've actually been an investor in Reef. And with the 40% dip that we had, Reef went down like 85%, and I lost a lot of money on Reef. But that's not the point. The point is that it already has an ERC token. And since I'm focused on the Parachain auctions for Kusama and Polkadot, Reef, whether it participates on the Parachain or not, which I haven't heard any of them trying to participate or get a Parachain auction, Parachain slot, I'm only going to invest on the projects that are going to participate on those auctions. I want to be an early investor, and I want to invest in the projects that are going to be the VIPs. And Reef hasn't done that, hasn't announced that they're going to be participating on the Parachain auction. So that's my opinion on Reef.
Do you have an opinion on Avalanche?
No. Like I said,
Avalanche. I mean, for right now, I don't think it's long term, but
I think that Avalanche has a beautiful ecosystem where you can do a lot of yield farming in it, and then the yields are incredibly high. I am concerned on certain blockchains that are forks of Ethereum or any other type of fork about the security. As we can say, we don't want to give our tokens or our money to anyone else, just like Sun Tzu has concern. And I personally, it's very difficult for me to do that, for me to actually stake giving my tokens to another network, like for example, Nexo, or within the Polygon network or anything like that, because of the security issues and the hacks that happen. So for example, one of the things that I'm looking for in certain projects is that, Kraken is also going to be one of those things that if Kraken gets hacked, you can lose your money. Polygon
aren't they insured though?
Whether they're insured or not, they're going to go ahead and then try to do their best to provide the money back. But what I'm talking about is not that. What I'm talking about is the security measures that each one of the projects or each one of the networks has. Polygon, like for example, each one of these forks are going to have security issues. So what we're looking for is that the forks or the things that are coming up as far as the blockchains like Avalanche and so forth, that are actually creating security measures for the blockchains not to be hacked or have as much security as possible. Like I said, I like what I hear about Avalanche. I've looked into the yield farming of it and everything, but I'm not investing in any of them because I'm completely focused on one ecosystem. And that has proven to me and many investors to be able to provide me with my 100Xs, my 50Xs. And like I said, we only need one of those to really, really make a big amount of money and be able to make life-changing type of gains instead of having a very broad focus on 100 different tokens, so I'm very laser focused on a certain ecosystem.
Awesome, thanks. Yeah, that I totally can completely understand and agree, and I'm on the same page as your analysis.
I'm going back to
incredible. No, it's right.
And going back to what you had said, it's like, what if like those 5 projects? The beautiful thing is that I have time to research each one of those 5 projects that are going to win, right? And I know everything about them. Where when you're looking at your 100 top coins, you're like, how do I even start doing the research for these things? And I have the opportunity to actually get to know each one of these projects launching, and I know what the technology is for. Therefore, I know about Bifrost and the technology that it brought for the staking, for me to be able to participate on the staking and also participate on the crowdfund, because I'm doing tons of research in just the 5 projects that are going to win in this. And I have, like, by the end of the 100 auctions, I'm going to know what every single project in the slots are going to do. And guess who's going to make more money?
You are.
Hey, Carlos, are you single?
No.
Just checking.
Yeah. And I only say no because I think Roxy's also
And Michael's married.
Yeah, Michael.
He's got married, so it's too late. Sorry. So, well, wow. So this has been so much packed into our collective here today. And it sounds like everybody has gotten a little bit of something for themselves. And if not, we're definitely a little bit wiser on what's out there and a whole new ecosystem and opportunities. And we know that Carlos is an amazing resource for all of us. If any of you choose to jump into his efforts, he's available. And we love having you all. Bobby, is there anything we need to say to everybody? Or
thank you, Carlos, for being here and sharing your wealth of knowledge, and also your money magnetism practices. I like how you threw that in there at the end of just like keeping things simple, so that you can really, so you're not spread too thin, over the whole market.
Laser focused, very smart.
Yeah. So yes, it looks like we have another conversation for another event on Hex Sounds like you want to do another one in a few weeks or whenever you're ready. Would love to have you back.
There's big pumps coming up because of the pull chain. Pulse chain. This is basically the preview to the next conversation, right? There's the pulse chain is an Ethereum fork that is launching, and the owner of the founder of Hex is launching that fork. But he's doing the biggest airdrop of history, where he's going to make a copy of all the ERC tokens into the Pulse network. So whatever is in your, even if you're not participating at all, the tokens inside your MetaMask wallet are going to be copied automatically. The quantity and everything, even if you have 1 million Hex or 100,000 USDC, is going to get an exact copy of it into the Pulse network. So a lot of people on Hex right now, we're contributing tons of money into Hex because we're going to get an exact copy of Hex into the Pulse network. So even if Hex maintains its value right now, we're going to double our money because we're going to get a copy automatically into the Pulse network. And we're able to do whatever it is that we want with it, sell it, stake it, whatever it is that we're going to do. So right now, everybody's pumping Hex, and it has been one of the, it's the third largest market cap. Even you don't see it on CoinGecko, or you don't see it on any other platforms. Go to Nomics or actually look at the market caps, and Hex is actually the third largest market cap in the whole crypto world, just under Ethereum. So there's so many things that I have to unpack with Hex, but it's a big opportunity right now before the launch of Pulse, where you're going to get an exact copy of your Hex into the Pulse network. So I don't deal with Hex in any of my companies, in the hedge fund or in the venture capital fund. I only do it personally, but that's the project that has made the biggest difference in my family, because I sit down with my mom, with my dad, with my brother, with my friends, even people at work, with my girlfriend, everybody. I have set up retirement accounts with Hex for the employees in the office. So it's, I don't, like I said, I don't deal with it in a professional level, but it's been one of the projects that has made the most difference in the people around me and in my life too, just because of the gains that I have.
Did you buy any Hex today?
No, I already have a lot.
Yeah, okay. I'm buying some too.
What is the release of Pulse, or the launch, as you said?
That is not announced yet, but hopefully by the end of the year, we're gonna be able to do that. A lot of people are talking about. I'm friends with a whale, like a big whale, and they have a group that they talk together as far as when they're gonna be. And it's not all the whales, obviously, but some of them, they talk about pumping certain prices at certain dates. And my friend just told me that by October 10th, there's going to be another pump, because they want to pump their bags, getting closer to the launch of Pulse. And they want to pump their bags, obviously, because they want to get a lot of gains for themselves, to be able to get a copy on the Pulse network, but also to cash out and be able to buy more Hex at a lower price on the Pulse network, or more Pulse, for them to be able to be like, have bigger bags. That's what whales do. So I have a little bit of that insight that comes that before we're going to see another pump before October 10th, and hopefully it does happen. I'm always trusting him. He has given me the most beautiful advice. He has made me so much money, and yeah, as long as I listen to him, I make money on Hex. So.
That is so cool. That is amazing.
Cool.
And yeah, I look forward to learning more about Hex as well.
All right, sounds good. We'll have another conversation.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty, guys.
Yeah, I was just going to say thank you again. I mean, everybody's welcome. We love having you join us. This is an opportunity for anybody who's well versed in the market and just learning. This is a.
Oh, you froze, Beth Ann. But I think we all got your acknowledgement to Carlos, and thanks, Carlos, and thanks everyone for coming and staying on later than expected. We'll talk to you all soon, and we'll do a video. We'll make this into a video too, so everyone else can watch it as well.
Alrighty. Alrighty, guys. Well, thank you for having me, and I hope it made a difference in your guys' investing career.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome. Thank you, Carlos. That was really awesome. Creative was the coolest word you said tonight. Creative. I love that. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome, guys. All right, have a good night.
All right. You too. Bye.